Blaha here. Thought I would do a third one of these. I've done a little over 2 hours today. I'm feeling pretty good, pretty well caught up on other work. So it's not a bad idea to just get just a little more cardio in, ride my bike, burn a few more calories, chat with you lovely people for a bit, and we'll see what we get for engagements. But a reminder, when you guys get in here, please click like, even if it's after the fact, comment down underneath the video if it's after the fact, keep my engagements up. A reminder, I have coaching slots open. I also do consultations. So a lot of times people come in like, I need help with program. I write programs in the consultation calls with people. I will write them out with you if you need one. So hit me up on Facebook. You guys know how to find me. Same thing, people have gear questions, other stuff. This is stuff I resolve one-on-one. I can't write a program for you in the live stream, but my calls are relatively inexpensive. Almost everyone who's done one felt it was money well spent. People come in the streams and said, yeah, he talked me into it in here and it was worth it. So I'm just gonna ride my bike. We'll see what we get in this one. We may get a lot of views, we may not. And we'll just see where it goes. I'm gonna share my other stuff for a minute, see what's going on all my other stuff, and wait for you guys and gals to chime in. But yeah, just doing a little bit of bonus cardio today, that's it. Thought I'd get just a little more in when I'm working on burning through some body fat. A little more list cardio is never a bad thing, right? Especially with tomorrow being an off day from training. Plus I like getting the blood flow with the leg days, but I'm noticing my quad tendons stuff are actually doing really well now that I'm doing everything super deep, everything ass to grass, including, the belt squats. I've actually been pretty happy with all that, right? Been pretty happy overall. I feel like my quad tendons are actually feeling a lot better. And I think all the extra list cardio does help. So just something I've noticed, right? Something I've noticed, going really, really deep on stuff seems to do really well for patellar tendons, right? In terms of them just not getting sore. I was getting DOMS for a while on some of my leg stuff. Now it's finally dissipating now that I'm doing everything deep. Yes, I'm out of breath because I'm 220 pounds and I have the bike on a hard setting. But we're just gonna keep working on that. And people keep asking stuff like, well, I've been doing the walks, the other stuff. How low a body weight are you gonna go to? I don't know. I don't have a goal. I have a certain look of where I want my waistline and abs to look in terms of leanness to where I wanna be. It's not gonna be super shredded, but it definitely needs to be lean enough to have a full visible six pack. Not where someone says the outline of abs, like we need to see abs. And I think that's reasonable. For me as a fitness professional, even though I'm more strength oriented, I don't think that's unreasonable body fat. We don't want to get contest lean. I'm not a fan of contest lean. I don't promote it. I don't think it's healthy. But, being lean enough to have, hey, a full six pack, perfectly reasonable. Right? I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing for someone, especially who's doing this, for a living as a coach and someone putting out content. So I'll just cardio on my way down. And if I do it with cardio, it's easier to maintain really because I can kind of eat similar calories. Food, same healthy, clean diet, but just less cardio to maintain it, right? So that's the beauty of using extra activity to strip body fat, particularly if you retain all your muscle. When you cut down, it's not necessary to freak out with a diet or do some weird, silly reverse dieting or worry about any of that. You can just kind of go back to maintenance. Not a big deal. Not really a big deal, right? You just reduce the cardio. Because again, we're not trying to get contest lean. Right? There's no point in that. I don't even think there's a point to that, personally, unless you're going to do a contest. All right, so far, only one like, no comments. I think this is an hour where people are not expecting me to do one, so no one's standing around waiting because they know I do others in the morning after training. I tend to do one, maybe noonish if I'm able to, depending on my schedule. So kind of a bonus one. I don't think people were anticipating me getting in here, right? They were not anticipating that. I've had people keep saying, we're not seeing guitar stuff. I've only been putting a little guitar stuff on Facebook. I haven't really been doing it on the fitness stuff. Yeah, here's one of mine. Hey, what's up? See, that's me playing Thunderstruck. again, I haven't been doing it on Facebook, but I've been on Facebook. I haven't been putting it up on YouTube. So I'm trying to keep this really just fitness. Tips on how to grow hair. Well, I would say don't be mentally handicapped. It's like a really, really strange question. So I'll ask you another question without being too insulting. You're gonna ask a bald guy how to grow hair. Well, your body grows hair naturally until it doesn't. Not really any tips on it, help me. But, do I look like the person who's best to give you advice on growing hair? It's gonna, real simple question. Can you take off the peanut cap? Well, first of all, I don't know what a peanut cap is. Secondly, it's just my scalp, dude. All right, it's called skin. Man, we're gonna have one of those chats where basically my chat is full of basically just stupid people, unfortunately. But I don't think it'll stay that way. Let's get it turned around. Get some likes in here. True, Jeff. Yeah. That's really all you guys have. Man, it's going to be one of those streams. I'm going to keep my cool, though. I'm going to keep my cool. And just going to keep pedaling, doing my cardio. We'll just let these guys go for now. Because I can handle that type of trolling. It's the stupid trolling about bad nutrition advice. That's where people set me off. Right? So these guys are clearly new here. They don't realize they can't really set me off with silly stuff. You guys got to do way better on trolling to get me wound up. Keep in mind, I have dedicated stalkers. I have a whole cyber stalking ring dedicated to me 24/7. Silly minor trolling is just not going to do it. Bro takes TRT straight to the lungs. Be kind of a silly comment. No, I straight up do tests, dude. I don't do TRT. I straight up do test sit, bro. No, I'm breathing. I've got the bike on high and I'm 220 pounds, so the breathing's going to be a little heavy, dude. Believe me, I'm trying. I'm definitely breathing. Testes. Yes, testes are the male gonads. Oh, Lord. Oh, well. Again, we haven't got a serious fitness poster in here yet today on this one. We had some really good chats the last few days, man. We've had some intense chats about training and nutrition in these. I noticed you have your hands put back on your shoulders. Have you your wrist issues? No? Not at all? Right? Not at all. Why would it give me wrist issues? It's not like I'm really supporting the weight. I'm trying to actually pull down. How many people do you know who don't bend? Hey, TKS, well, what does your squat grip look like? I would ask. So film yourself and let's see what it looks like. How long have you been going live on here? For years. I mean, keep in mind, that silver play plaque up there, I've had it for like 9 years. So I've been going live a little while. Kenya LE, if that is indeed your real name. It's a little suspect. Do we believe that that's her real name, guys? I'm going to need you to prove it. Okay, congrats on the plaque. So this Prime guy, it's LE as in the magazine. Oh, so it's L, Kenya L. Okay. So fashion magazine. All right, cool. I can dig it. So you do fashion stuff, because I'm not going to hop over to your page from here. I'm busy peddling. All right, cool. So you do fashion. I can dig it. President, I don't discuss my personal life at all. I mean, people know my past. They know I've been divorced twice. My first wife is dead. You guys know because I used to have her on my channel. I obviously dated a stripper for 3 years and lived with her. But that's years ago. I've tried to keep my personal life off the internet since then. So even when or if I am currently married, I'm not even going to announce it. I don't announce who I'm dating. I keep it all really private. What's your deadlift PR? If you go to my main tab, I literally do a 635 deadlift there with just a belt chock and on a stiff bar. And I'm 48 years old. I'm okay at the deadlift, right? I'm okay at deadlifts for an old guy. 635 I think is okay for a guy in his 40s. I mean, if I was mid-20s, it would be weak, Bro, I got gyno, what should I do? Hit me up on Facebook. I can discuss as far as you're needing gear advice and reversing gyno using drugs. That's a consultation level question. So hit me up on Facebook. I do calls at $100 an hour. I will discuss protocols with you for reducing your gyno. I'm assuming you got it from using steroids incorrectly. He's giggling, y'all, right? We're just Superman, appreciate it, man. But yeah, as far as gyno goes, it can definitely be worked around, assuming you have access to all the right pharmaceuticals. And I'm going to assume if you got gyno from using steroids, then you have access to dealers and suppliers for these things. All right. I'm 18, I never used. Well, then you need to talk to your doctor then about your gyno. Kenya, nice try, bro. You're not fooling anybody with the troll account. Well, for all we know. I do have real women who follow. I have clients who've been women, everything else here. I don't get many women on YouTube. My Facebook, I mean, people notice that too. They're like, yeah, he has a ton of women who follow and engage on my Facebook fitness. But YouTube, it's a very, very small number. I personally do powerlifting, but I coach bodybuilders too. Right now, I am training a little bit like a bodybuilder. If you watch the vlogs, and I'm cutting right now, so I'm doing all the cardio, work on my physique a little more. But generally, I'm geared towards competitive strength sports. But I mean, I do coach both groups plus general population. I coach fighters also, right? So you can look at some of the client vlogs. You'll get an idea of the spread of training styles I coach. What do you think about whey protein and creatine powder? That's a very vague question. Can you be specific? I mean, whey protein is a high bioavailable protein. It's usually cost effective. Works pretty well as a protein source if you're trying to utilize it for that. Creatine can be a bit hit or miss. I mean, it can help. Tiny amounts. There is data showing very, very small benefits to muscle growth. There may be some cognitive benefits. It's way better than the walking ones. I like the walking more though, Jay, but you're right. For vlogging, the bike ones inside are way more convenient than the outside. But I like to get at least an hour outside walking every day, talking to the camera. Hamari says, wear a shirt, Grandpa. How's your grandma going to masturbate to my videos if I put a shirt on though, bro? Put your sexy ass grandma on here. I get it, Jason, talking purely for public purposes. Yeah, I enjoy the outside walking a lot more than the bike. I wouldn't even, if I wasn't talking to you guys, it'd be so hard for me to convince myself to even get on this stupid bike. I'm gonna go lift some heavy weights. It's all this cardio. But we need to get the six-pack back. We gotta get the abs. Cardio helps. Bro, you just violated him. You mean power bodybuilding? Yeah, I technically do power building styles. Same, I honestly hate indoor cardio except for swimming laps. Very relaxing. I'm not a soccer fan. Have you ever heard of the Trend Twins? Dude, we all see the Trend Twins 57 times a day through our social media. They're going to die young. Can't be abusing all that trend that young, man. Come on, guys. I'm not a trend fan. Side effects are just not worth it, for the most part. I can't do trend, right? If I did trend, I would be running down the street butt naked with nothing but a Viking helmet on, swinging a battle axe and be screaming blood for the blood god, skulls for the throne of corn. I cannot handle it. All right. Ziz died from a whole host of reasons, dude. We don't know for sure. Jason doesn't like sports besides losing weights. I like women's figure skating. I like women's volleyball. Hey coach, leveled up from my job. My new Blaha training plan is called From Pencil Pusher to Boardroom Dominator. There you go. Right? Yeah, trend just has too many side effects. It's just simply not worth it. I get that guys get a certain look out of it, but even one of the side effects is even tendon tears. Yeah, I saw Pete's thing. I did a whole video in that same line also discussing trend, agreeing with him based on my experience as a lifter and as a coach. I think I made it years ago, like 8 years ago, in a response whenever he did it too. It got like 10, 20,000 views. I think Pete was relatively accurate in his assessment of trend psychologically. All those hammer curls are going to pay off. It's time to put a handshake on that negotiation. There you go. What brought on the cardio use to time? Steve, list cardio doesn't hurt recovery so much. I've done tons of list cardio in the past. Like, are we going to pretend I haven't done this off and on for decades? Even 25 years ago? Come on. I used cardio to lose 100 and something pounds when I was young, before I got into lifting. Like, are we going to pretend that's not the case? So you sound like a troll just trying to pick an argument. All right. Like, for real. The guy I know said he tried it briefly and he talked about I've known tons and tons of guys who use trend. Some get worse side effects than others. It depends on the person. I personally can't handle it. I was watching reruns of American Gladiator the other day. Those guys were considered jacked, but now they look small. Does it worry you that so many people are on test? No, I'm a big fan of test. Those guys were all on test. Steve, you clearly haven't been following me long term then. So you only take tests? I didn't say that. Right now I'm only on test. I'm on a very, very low dose of test. I'm just cutting. I'm not trying to make crazy gains. I mean, eventually I may just run. As I get older, probably just only test and a little growth will probably be all I'll ever really use. Jason, when people talk about roid rage, they usually encounter people using trend. Yeah, most of the time. Is test even bad? Not really, not in moderate amounts. I don't believe that it is. You know, outside of things, like as long as your lipids are good, and you've got to watch for things like left ventricular hypertrophy. Natural all the way. Why? Everybody wants to be natural. I don't care about natural. I mean, if you want to stay natural, that's fine, but don't act like it's impressive or superior or better. It's just a personal choice. No, there's no point in HCG unless you're trying to father children. Like, you would use HCG when you're like, I want to have kids next year. So what are the benefits of trend compared to other drugs? What do you mean benefits? That's a lot. Dude, I'm not going to do a whole live stream to breaking down the pros and cons of trend. Your diet seems more rounded these days, coach, fitting in both carbs and fats. Probably so. I usually do. I like to experiment a little, biasing it. But I just feel better overall when I eat healthy carbs with healthy fats. You know, so I'm hitting the avocados pretty hard. Obviously some walnuts and peanut butter, but definitely throwing avocados in. A lot of brown rice, a lot of sweet potatoes. You know, the main thing is just keeping it all really, really clean and keeping it biased towards fat burning and reducing oxidative stress, antioxidant status. All right. I don't know. I don't keep up with John Skywalker. White versus brown rice. That's a really complicated question also, Jay. We could go into a long diatribe about the pros and cons of each. Yes, there's a massive difference in terms of stool volume, gastric emptying. There's a lot. I mean, they both are very viable and both have their place in a bodybuilding or athlete's diet. Does fructose really turn you orange if you eat too many? So can carrots, but keep in mind how excessively rare that medical condition is. It can happen, but it's not even like a 1% of people. Steve, yes, I probably will have 3 slots open. Even if I pick up 3 clients this month, I'll have 3 slots open next month. So how's that for an answer? 3 slots means I'm willing to take on 3 clients this month, is what that means. It has nothing to do with how many clients I currently have. It just means I'm not full and I'm willing to take up to 3. So you take HGH. I haven't taken HGH in a while. No, first, mainly for the longevity connective tissue. You're not going to really gain muscle from HGH. How do you just more feel way out of hand? I already did a ton of fiber on my diet, so I personally go with white. I think that's fair, yeah. As far as rice goes. Jay, I remember I was watching you 10 years ago, man. You quit YouTube, you're very popular. No, dude, I make videos every day. Are you keeping protein at around 1 gram a pound? Yeah, I shoot for 200 grams, kind of as my target, Matt. How much is your coaching? $250 a month. I don't avoid red meat. I just haven't really been eating it. I don't feel the need for the saturated fat while I'm eating a fair amount of carbs. Probably not good. Think about starting here in 25 and working out. It's a very personal choice. Do your research first. If you have to recommend any cardio at all, what would it be? Less cardio, brisk walking? Nope, there's no sales coming. In fact, sales are bad. Here's the problem with sales. People who wait for a sale can't afford coaching. Every person who signed on, except for one when I ran the sales price, all dropped out because they said they still couldn't afford it any longer. And now I've picked up clients since then at the normal rate. It's a bad idea. It literally draws you the clients who cannot afford coaching is what it draws in. So I'm better to just push outreach and do other stuff and not do sales. Get the outreach back out enough again to where I can up the price like I used to, because everything was good. My money was pretty good in general when I was charging $300. So just push outreach on all my stuff again. No, sales, clearly it was a bad idea. You literally lose those people. Keep your standards, coach. The people will come exactly. I am on test SIP. I'm not on, who said TRT? Sure, we'll call it TRT. On TRT. 250 mgs. Doctor prescribed. Wink, wink, wink. Wink, wink. Dude, I'm 220 pounds at 5'9" and 48 years old. Bitch, you think I'm on TRT? Oh my God. Man, you are delusional. You're going to have a real rough life in the lifting world. All right, you're right. I probably can't afford it. Just a massive debt. Oh. Have you ever had tennis elbow? Nope. So, Grandpa, what's your thoughts on SARMs? SARMs are complete trash dumpster garbage. How old are you now? 48? Band curls that you do super fast and pump out the reps, that can help. You look 190 right now. What, body weight? Dude, I'm 222. So that training vlog this morning, I'm at 222 pounds. Still, when I bumped the cardio way up, the weight went way up and now it's dropped back down. I always respond with water weight whenever I add a bunch of cardio. I bloat. I look 190, dude. I'd be shredded at 190. Jay, what about creatine? What about it? What are you asking about creatine? I need you to be very, very specific. Because creatine's an enormous topic with like 50 studies and thousands of pages of literature. So is it helpful? The answer to both your questions is yes. It is both potentially minorly helpful and it's also unnecessary. So the answer to your question, yes and yes. All right, this guy says I'm on 250 tests, 250 mestrolone, DHEA per day, 1,000 US HCA is all doctor prescribed. That's pretty aggressive, but some doctors will do that. Why don't you do chin-ups and pull-ups? Wouldn't it be good for both of them, even on their own day? No, I don't feel like I need to do both always. I rotate through them back and forth. I'm doing pull-ups again now. So this week is weighted pull-ups. I get better lats out of the pull-ups, better lat engagement. I just do curls for biceps. No big deal. right? Keep up the good work and ride it out to below 200. Man, going under 200, that sounds really crazy to me. Maybe sitting there going, dude, under 200? I don't know if I'm trying to get that lean to be sub 200 pounds. I don't know about you guys, but I've been trying to get rid of that. It's just, you got to keep dieting, dude. Know something to take his fish oil, and I used to take D3, maybe in sunny warm area. No witch doctor, and no, I'm not going to cook in a lie for you guys. I have no desire to do that. Plus, why am I cooking ribeyes? I'm not eating much saturated fat right now. I get there, you don't have to stay there. Well, why wouldn't you stay there? What's the point of getting lean if you're not going to stay there an extended period of time? I don't even understand that concept. That's the whole point, unless you're competing in bodybuilding. So we've hit 2.5 hours of cardio today on a leg day. Dude, it was a leg day. What am I thinking? Have I lost my mind? Coach has lost his mind. I have lost my mind. It's a leg day. It's like, let's go ahead and do 3 cardio sessions so we get 2.5 hours. What bike are you riding? I don't know. It's called from a company. It probably doesn't exist anymore. It's probably been out of business for 8 years. I got it off Amazon. A company, like I'm looking at it, it's called WorkFit. I got to scratch paint off from all my miniature painting while sitting on it to even read the name. Dude, even the whole little dial has all got paint splattered all over it. Like, this is my painting desk, is this desk bike. I agree, Jason needs to lean out and stay there. Yeah, there's no point just leaning out if you're not going to actually stay there. What's the point? Why you guys do that to yourself? Right? I have a dip belt from APT Pro Wrist that I got back when I was 210. It's been out of business for a long time. Exactly. This is a bike I bought, a recumbent bike, like 10 years ago off Amazon. You're like, which model? I'm like, you're not going to find it. What are you going to go do? Look for a refurbished one in another country and get it imported and pay thousands of dollars for a $150 bike? Do lifting belts reduce axial fatigue? Hypothetically, they might. Right? Is it normal for an out-of-shape returning lifter to be limited on squat by cardio before ever getting close to muscle figure? If you're doing rep work, it is. Yep. If you're doing over about 5 reps, yep. For lean gains, you reckon it's, why are you doing 20 or 30 calories per month? Why don't you just assess the scale? Why would you even plan something like that far ahead of time? That doesn't even make sense. So no, I don't think that that's reasonable at all. You're going to end up in a cut if you gain muscle. That's not lean gains, that turns into a cut. Possibly, depending on how much muscle you have before you start it. And now we got 41 people, and I've been sitting there thinking I should wind this down. Now it's got people flowing in. It's probably going to get more views than the other. Yeah. I didn't intentionally bulk, it's just appetite and the foods I was eating. No DOMs from the leg workout. 2.5 hours of cardio, you need to up the intensity. Alan, you shouldn't be getting DOMs. Why would you be getting DOMs from your leg workouts? Do you not know how to train? Do you not notice I have big legs and a big squat? I don't get leg DOMs. Dude, I didn't get leg DOMs even when I was at 245 squatting 600. When you guys used to see me do sets of 20 with 300 pounds, I didn't get DOMs from that. Maybe you need to learn how to train. All right. Coach, you've motivated me to get my point in daily. Yes, I need to lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks. That's too much. No. I used to get down from the 50s. So sometimes I haven't been getting any lately. All right. Blaha. I heard with dieting to lose fat mass, you're going to need to double your daily intake of protein. No, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true at all. Same protein that built your muscle will keep it. Right? That's how it works. All right. What's your squat, bench, and deadlift at this right now? I don't know because now I'm not doing singles. You guys saw me recently, before I went over to all rep work, I did a 500 back squat with just a belt, no shoes, no sleeves. I did a really clean 585 deadlift. I did a few weeks ago, I did a 335 flat back bench with a 2-second pause on the chest. All right. So I already identified you from your typing style. Bye. The best squat, bench, deadlift ever. I don't ever use ones I didn't do on camera before smartphones because people call you a liar. So let's just chill. So let's go with the best lifts I've hit on camera. How's that? Is that fair, Mark? You guys have seen me both wide grip and closed grip with a pause, 365 on the bench. I've pulled 635, which with a calibrated plates and a power bar, so not even a deadlift bar. That's on the main page of my channel if you check. And then for squats, the heaviest, it was a little high. I did 605 on a cambered bar. But if we're gonna call a legit back squat with a straight bar, I think 550 is the heaviest I've done on here. On camera, we're only talking about what I've done on camera. That's all that matters, right? And did all that in my mid to late 40s. All right, guys, I'm probably gonna wind this down though. This is more cardio than I really needed to do today, but it's good, we're cutting, so I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.